For today's topic, we will be talking about how to read an x-ray. Being able to read an x-ray in front of the team is an essential and very common thing that comes up. Thus, knowing how to approach these is important. So let's go over some examples together. Now, disclaimer before we begin, if you are told a different way to approach image reads on rotation, then go ahead and adapt to the program's ways. This is just how I have learned to read x-rays and what I have received positive feedback on thus far. Nevertheless, let's begin. So for the first one, I will walk through how I might respond if the attending or resident asks, "Hey, Annalisa, what do you see?" So for the first image, I would say, this is a mortise view x-ray of the right ankle of a skeletally mature individual demonstrating a Weber A fracture of the lateral malleolus. Now to break this down into components, first you want to begin with saying what view and mention the modality. So I said this is a mortise view on x-ray. Then you want to mention the region of anatomy with laterality. For this I said of the right ankle. Next you want to mention if the individual is skeletally mature. For this you are looking for the presence of growth plates. Here this is a skeletally mature individual, thus I stated so. Next you want to mention the finding. This x-ray was of a Weber A fracture of the lateral malleolus, and I can go over the Weber classification in a future video, but let's say you were not aware of the classification used. Then you can simply say demonstrating a fracture to the lateral malleolus. But again, the more detail you can give, the better. Next, you want to comment on the displacement, whether there is varus or valgus deformity, etc. But let's go ahead and go over a few examples. You can pause the video before I state how I would respond. This is an AP x-ray of the right hip of a skeletally mature individual demonstrating a displaced intertrochanteric femur fracture. Now again, feel free to add in more details as you see fit. Alrighty, next up. There is a PA and a lateral x-ray of the right wrist of a skeletally immature individual demonstrating a both bones fracture that is shortened and is posteriorly displaced. Note, you always refer to the most distal segment when determining displacement.